Okay, for my video, I'm gonna tell a story about exercise and what I learned from going from being a high school athlete to not really exercising at all. So when I was in high school, or even before high school, we talked about this today, I was like a really competitive swimmer, and like the only thing I ever thought about was qualifying for the Junior Olympics. Like I thought about that all the time. And it's weird to think now because I like don't identify as a swimmer at all. But so then when I got into high school, I started doing cross country, and I mostly just did it because my friend did it and because it was fun. But then I was just running all the time, and I got really into running, and I broke a couple school records, and they weren't like fast or anything, you know, but they were like, all of a sudden I just felt good. I was like, I can run fast and I should be an athlete for the rest of my life. And then we did this like activity with a young women's group that was like, what are your like life dreams? And I was like, I'm gonna go to the Olympics. But I obviously am not going to the Olympics. I like was never even good enough to go to the Olympics. Anyway, so by the time I got out of high school and I went to college, I started thinking like the only type of exercise that it like counts is like going on a 5-mile run or swimming like for 3 hours, or like it's either super intense exercising or it like doesn't count, right? And so then for class I started to do this activity where I had to improve on my exercise. And the really cool thing about this activity that I was forced to do was you had to like get educated about what you were practicing. And so while I was getting educated about it, I watched some videos and I read some stuff, and it was from mybestself101.com. I'll put the link in the description of this video. But I just watched all these videos, and there was this one video that I really liked that I'll link as well. That's it's called like 23 and a half hours or something, and it's about how if you just would exercise for 30 minutes a day, you can have 23 and a half hours for the rest of the day. I think I told you about that video maybe. Anyway, and so then I was thinking about that, but then when they were talking about exercise, the exercise they were talking about was walking for 30 minutes a day, which is why I'm filming this video. I wonder if I can make it so that we can see. We're walking just on one of the trails. Look, you can see. But that's why I'm filming this video while we're on a walk, because technically I'm exercising for the day. So anyway, for this activity, I just decided that I was going to exercise every day, and that really challenged my mindset of like what exercise is and what it should be, because I thought I had to be like super intense exercising or it didn't count. Like it just doesn't count, because if you're not losing weight or looking better or I don't know, training for something, then it just doesn't count as exercise. It just counts as like going out and being active or something. And what I learned is whatever your body is comfortable with doing is what you should do. Because the reason that I wouldn't exercise after high school and after I finished doing track and stuff was because I didn't have anything to train for, and so it felt useless to me. And then anytime I wanted to exercise after that, it just felt like useless. So then I wouldn't do any intense working out, but then I didn't want to go on like a crappy jog that was really slow, because I was like, no, I'm an athlete, like I have to be running fast or it doesn't count as running.
Yeah.
Or I have to be walking fast or it doesn't count, or whatever. And so it would be like a fight to get me out of my bed or out of my house or whatever to go do anything, because I thought it had to be this certain amount of intensity, when really like whatever you're ready to do to be active should be what you do. Like it sounds really intimidating for me to go run up a mountain, but it sounds super doable to me to just go like walking on this little like, let me see, it's like a paved trail that's really flat. But that feels super doable because it's easy. For me, that's really easy. For someone else, maybe that would be intimidating, and maybe what would work for you is like just walking around your cul-de-sac or something, or around your neighborhood. It just totally depends on how you feel and what you think your body is ready for. And I think there's an important distinction between fighting yourself to get yourself to do something and pushing yourself. Because when you're pushing yourself, you're already doing something that you want to do, but you're doing it harder and trying to push yourself to be better. But when you're fighting yourself to do something that you already don't want to do. And then you make yourself do it.
Yeah.
You know? And so then it makes, I don't know, I just feel like it frames it in a totally different way.
Totally.
It frames it in a way like you can just do what you're ready for and do what you're comfortable with, and it can feel good to go out and do.
And it's more for your enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a fight to get yourself to go do it. It can just be like, okay, I'm gonna go on a walk, and then that's easy. But then maybe instead of just walking around my neighborhood, I'm gonna push myself and I'm gonna walk like a mile or something. You know, but you start with whatever gets you out the door and whatever feels like totally doable and totally safe. But if you're fighting yourself thinking like, if I'm not running up a mountain, it doesn't count, then you're never gonna be able to get yourself to be active, and you're like putting yourself in a really negative light, and you're kind of talking down to yourself when really you should just be like supporting your body for what it's able to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned.
Good.